How's it going today, guys? So I just want to apologize in advance if my voice is a little bit hoarse. I had like a wicked sinus infection or some kind of cold going on, and I'm just kind of starting to feel better. So if my voice is sounding kind of weird, that's probably what's going on with that. But or I just have a weird sounding voice and this is the first time you're hearing it, but one of those two. But anyway, what I wanted to talk about today, this is actually a question I get frequently from you guys because I do a lot of videos about investing in the stock market, and so I have a lot of people ask me, like, how do you get that initial money saved up? So if you're in your teens and you want to learn more about investing and you want to save up some money so when you turn 18 you can open a trading account, how do you go about saving up that first $1,000? Now, this doesn't just have to apply to people who want to invest that money. Maybe you want to save up money to buy a car or save up money for college or whatever you might want to save up money for. And the dollar amount doesn't have to be $1,000, it could be more. But these are some ways that you can start saving up money at any age. And what I'm going to do is when I go through these, I'm going to tell you which ones of these that I've done myself, just so you know if they work or not. I mean, I don't like to just throw stuff out there that I haven't done myself. A lot of these things I have done myself, and I have made money doing these things too. So I'm going to tell you about my personal experience with these as I go along here too. But first one is pretty simple, guys. You know that change? I know a lot of us aren't paying with cash anymore, so maybe this doesn't apply to you. But even I do. Sometimes I have cash on me, and I throw my change in wherever. Sometimes I'll literally throw it on the ground, like I'm walking out of a place. I hate change. You know, if there's any of those leave a penny, take a penny things, I've literally left like 98 cents there before because I hate carrying change. So my total was like 402. I gave them a 5. I was like, throw the coins in there. They're like, that's almost $1. For me, I was like, I don't care. I don't want to carry the change. But if you're really, really trying to save as much money as you can, keep your change in your pockets from the day and start a coin jar at home. I know it doesn't sound like you can save money this way, but the amount of money, especially if you pay cash for everything, the amount of money that you're just throwing into those take a penny, leave a pennies, or just throwing around somewhere or buying gumballs with, that adds up over time. So the first thing I'd recommend to you is save all of your change, okay? And then roll it yourself. Don't waste the money going to Coinstar. I know they have the convenience of, oh, just come dump all of your change in. But the last time I did Coinstar, I was with a friend, and I think they took, don't quote me on this, 9 cents on the dollar. So you're right off the bat losing 9% of your money because you don't want to roll it. So if you had $200 in change, that's $18 that you're losing just because you don't want to roll your coins. So I would recommend saving up your change, and then maybe every month or two, take a Saturday morning, get some coin rolls and roll your coins and save that up, okay? Over time, that will be a good amount of money. I mean, I have a close family friend of mine who saved his change for like 4 or 5 years, and then I told him I would help him out. I said, look, I'll roll your change with you. We'll kind of, hang out, roll some change. We rolled over $1,000 just in coins from 3 years' time. So if you're looking to save up money, if you're buying everything with cash, save your coins. Right there in 3 years, this guy had $1,000 in coins sitting in jars in his bedroom. So that's one way you can start saving up some money, and you can do that at any age. Number 2. This is something, I do this myself too. Cashing your cans and bottles. Don't just throw them into single stream recycling. That's what I do. I basically get annoyed with the fact that, I don't want to wash out the cans, I don't want to wash out the bottles, and I also don't want to bring back stinky returnables and get all that nasty soda crap on my hands. For me, the 5 cents is just not worth my time. But if you have the time, wash out your cans and wash out your bottles and save them. And then every month, bring them to the recycling center, cash it in for your 5 cents. If you're a younger person too, I don't know how well this would work for an older person, so don't try this if you're older. But if you're like a young person, you still have that cuteness appeal to you, go door to door around your neighborhood and say, look, I'm trying to save up money for my college. Is it possible that I can have your returnables? And if you got any old people in the neighborhood, or people who really like you, they might say, you know what, you can have our returnables. They might appreciate the effort that you're putting into it. So if you're a young person, go around your neighborhood or talk to your grandparents or your other family members and say, look, I'm trying to save up for my college fund, for my first car. Can I have your returnables? And they might, you never know, they might wash out the cans and bottles for you and leave them out for you to return. So there's somebody right there for you. And you can do that at any age. But I just don't know how well that would work if you're like a 40-year-old guy going door to door. Hey, can I have your returnables? I don't think that's going to go as well. But hey, might as well give it a shot. I don't know. Number 3. This applies more to older people, but this is something I've done myself. Check your state and government sites for any unclaimed funds. What this is if there's any money owed to you, that the person who owes you the money, they can't get a hold of you, they will surrender the money either to the federal government or to the state offices. And then you can go online and check using your last name and see if there's any funds that are in your name that you can claim. That's basically your money. They don't know how to get a hold of you, so they surrender it to the unclaimed funds registry, or this list of all these funds that are owed to people. For this video, I actually checked my name out of curiosity, and I found an unclaimed fund from Sprint. I don't even know where that came from. I haven't had Sprint as my carrier for like 4 years now, but I had an unclaimed fund from Sprint that I didn't even know about. So there's free money right there that is owed to me, and they don't know how to get a hold of me. So check for unclaimed funds if you're over the age of probably 18, where you have accounts in your own name or you're paying for your own bills. That's generally where you're going to get unclaimed funds. Number 4, sell small, high-value items you don't need anymore on eBay. I just recently did this. I used to be really into the Nintendo Entertainment System. I was collecting all the games, and I'd go to garage sales, and I would buy any NES cartridges that I could get my hands on because I liked the games and I played them all the time. So then as I got older, I lost interest in that. I boxed them all up, I threw them in my closet, and I forgot about them. Well, over the summer, I dug them out of my closet, found them, opened them up, dusted them off, and I'm like, I don't use any of this stuff. I might as well get rid of it. So at first I was just going to throw my Craigslist and be like, okay, you know, I got 15 games here, $5 a game, you know, come take them. But then I said, you know what? I know some of these did have some value to them. I don't know what they're worth, but I took up good pictures of all of them, labeled them all, itemized them on eBay, and I made almost $400 selling all those games. I don't know what titles were in there, guys, but there were some hot titles that people wanted. So I was about to let it go for like, I don't know, 5 times 15 is like $75. I was about to sell it all for $75. I went on eBay and I got almost 400. So if you have any small items, collectible items, things that are of high value, you're going to get your best money on eBay. So if you have stuff that you used to collect that you don't care about anymore, let that stuff go on eBay, guys. Get that money and save the money up. The other thing you can do too, like I said, I got a lot of those games at garage sales. Start going to garage sales in your area and look for stuff that people are selling that they don't understand the value of. A lot of people are selling records, and video games is a big thing too. A lot of people sell old video games. They think they're worthless. There's a lot of value in those if you know what you're looking for. You could also go to like Salvation Army or Goodwill. One of the things I used to do too, I did a lot of stuff. So I know it sounds like I've done a little bit of everything. I really have. One of the things I used to do when I was 15 years old, I used to go to a Salvation Army near my house and I would buy vintage Levi's. I knew which ones to look for, and I would buy vintage Levi's for like $5, and there was a couple pairs I sold for I think 30 or 40 bucks. And so for me, you know, it did take a little bit of time to drive there. You didn't always find some, but when you did find some and when you sold them, it was a nice little way to make some side income if you don't have a lot to do and you got a lot of free time to go scrounging through Salvation Armies. At this point in my life, my time is my most valuable resource, so it wouldn't be worth it for me right now to go to a Salvation Army and go digging through jean racks to try to find Levi's. But for a young person, that's a great way to make some money. Look up vintage clothing and learn about what kind of things to look for and start digging through Salvation Armies and Goodwill stores. There's all kinds of stuff that you can sell. Garage sales too. A lot of people sell clothing at garage sales. Number 6, if you are tech savvy at all, if you have any services that you can do online, maybe you're into graphic design, video editing, maybe you do voiceovers, maybe you make logos, post a gig on Fiverr and people will pay you $5 or more for your service online. I've tried Fiverr. I don't know. It's tough to get started on Fiverr. I'm going to put it that way. It's hard to get your first couple of sales on Fiverr. I think your best bet is to maybe, if you know some people, have them buy your gig for them, or they'll buy the gig for you, leave you a good review just to get established, because people are very, very skeptical of people with no reviews on Fiverr. So I personally haven't had much luck with Fiverr. But I think if you made it your main focus and worked at it more, you could have luck on Fiverr. I mean, you can read articles, guys, about people who are making not $1,000. They're making six-figure incomes alone on Fiverr. There's some serious money to be made out there. And the one thing I'm going to say about Fiverr, guys, I've ordered a lot of stuff on Fiverr. I could not tell you some of the crap I've gotten from Fiverr. I've gotten some really, 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 really bad work, to the point where I've even like contacted the seller and I'm like, hey, you need to fix this or I'm going to ask for my money back. So don't think that it's like these experts out there. There's some stuff that I've seen that was like, I thought a 4-year-old did it. I mean, so it's not the best of the best on Fiverr. I'm going to put it that way, to put it politely. So if you're pretty good at something, you don't have to be perfect at it to go on Fiverr. I'm going to put it that way. Number 7, if you're old enough, get a part-time job or do some odd jobs on Craigslist or do a neighborhood service. I've done all of these things. Basically, I got my first part-time job when I was 15. I was actually working at, we had a county fair that would come around, and they would have jobs that they needed people for 1 week during the summer to work at the fair. So I did that as my first job. And then later in that summer, I got a job at a grocery store, just, doing carts in the parking lot. For, I think, my first paying job, I made $7.35 an hour, which was 5 cents more than minimum wage at the time. So I was like, man, I'm a baller. I'm making more than minimum wage. And then I also did the neighborhood services too. When I was 12 years old, started my first lawn mowing business. So during the summer, I went door to door at the beginning of the summer, said, hey, I'll mow your lawns for 20 bucks. I think my best summer I had maybe it was 2 or 3 people. I'd mow their lawn every single week. So to be honest with you guys, at 12 years old, to make 60 bucks a week tax free, that's 250 bucks a month, 240, 250. They would tip me once in a while, so probably more like 250. That's a little bit of change, in your pocket, especially if all you're making at that time is money from your birthday, from the holidays. So $250 a month is not too bad. I mean, obviously, if you live, like for me, it was only 4 months out of the year because the grass, obviously, during the winter didn't need to be mowed. But you could also just shovel driveways in the winter if you really want to do that. Number 8, if you're a little bit older and you're eating outside of the house, buying your own food, one of the biggest ways you can save money, which will help you make money because you're saving it, use coupons at the grocery store and eat your food at home. I can't tell you how much money people waste going to the drive-thru and buying food at the drive-thru. That is such an incredible waste of money, especially because the stuff that you're buying you can make so easily at home for next to nothing. One of the things I can't believe is how much breakfast sandwiches cost now. Like if you go to a McDonald's or something, you want to get an Egg McMuffin or whatever. The other day I was there buying coffee. I think it was like $3.50 for an Egg McMuffin, and I'm like, you can get a dozen eggs for like $1.50. You can get 6 English muffins for under $2, and you can get some American cheese and some ham. You could probably make like 5 or 6 of those things for the price of one of those. So it blew my mind that people pay so much for breakfast sandwiches, because you can just make that stuff at home. Give yourself 10 minutes in the morning. That'll save you a lot of money. And then use coupons too when you can. When you go to the store, buy stuff on sale and use coupons, and any money that you're saving, put it into your little nest egg to build up your $1,000. Number 9, I'm not going to lie, I have never done this, but there were a lot of people that said you can go online and find sites where you can complete surveys for companies and they'll pay you per survey, or you can use a paid search engine. I don't think you're going to make a ton of money off this. I don't think anybody's sitting at home making $500, $1,000 a month doing surveys online. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm very skeptical about this one. But you might be able to make a little bit of money doing surveys online or using that paid search engine. It depends on what is worth it to you. I mean, if you could make $1 or $2 a month using a paid search engine, if that's worth it to you, then there's money to be made there. For me, it's just not worth the annoyance. And then number 10, I like this one a lot too, and this is something I never really got paid for, but I always love doing it because maybe, as you can tell, I really enjoy teaching and telling things to others and just kind of sharing my own experience in life. I've always loved doing that. So I used to teach people a lot, especially in college, because I was going through a lot of complex electrical theory, and I kind of caught on to it a little better than some, so I would do a lot of teaching to my fellow students. But if you enjoy school a lot and you're really good at a certain subject, or you know a foreign language, you can make a little bit of money being a paid tutor or a paid translator after school hours. So maybe if there's somebody struggling in the class, reach out to them and say, hey, I can talk to your parents, maybe we can get some tutoring going on. And that would be great for you because it's going to make you feel really good if you help that person do better in school, and you're also making a little bit of money for your services too. But that's pretty much 10 ways, guys, that you can save up your first $1,000. And I know a lot of people are concerned because, they're not old enough to work yet, but there's a lot of ways that you can make money without working at any age. It's just a lot of it sounds like work because it is work. There's a lot of people out there that are selling these like get-rich-quick schemes and like all these things where they're like, oh, it takes very little work, it's very easy to do, it won't take much of your time. There's not a lot out there, nothing that I've found that makes you a lot of money that doesn't take a lot of work. So, I mean, if you're willing to get out there and cash in your bottles and save up your change and roll your coins and go to garage sales and look for stuff to sell on eBay, or get on Craigslist and sell stuff on Craigslist. I almost think I skipped number 5. I don't know if I skipped number 5 in this, but number 5 was just sell larger valuable items on Craigslist or have a garage sale. So that 4 and 5 kind of go hand in hand. I'm pretty sure I skipped it, so we had to back step there and do number 5. No big deal. But yeah, the money's out there to be made. It's just a matter of if you're ambitious enough and if the effort you put in is worth the money you get out of it. And then once you save up that initial $1,000, or if that's your goal to get into investing at that point, then you have that nest egg built up you can use to invest, or maybe it's going towards your first car or towards education. But there's definitely money out there to be made. Well, that's pretty much all I got for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, please just take a second and drop a like below, and then subscribe to be notified of future uploads. And thank you guys for watching this video.